Barry, whoops, I didn't let our VP in. Too busy talking. I will put up our agenda.
Please.
I'm going to zoom it in nice. Please remember, everyone, this is a conference. We'll go through it page by page and then take questions before you do a consent agenda, and then, of course, go back to any questions for the public. We're being streamed on YouTube. Mr. Toro's on there. We know the instructions are if anybody needs to ask a question, we're going to wait, give them some time, and we'll get everyone has a chance if they have any questions. I'm looking forward to hearing from our new student reps this year. It's a new beginning, right, Sarah and Ojul? We look forward to it. I told them you guys expected just 45 minutes of a report on a daily occurrence, and we'll be off and running. That was a joke, guys. Little comic relief. Shakespeare had comic relief, as you all know, studying British Lit. So, folks, Madam President, I'm going to share my screen.
And I'm going to use my new intro.
Yes.
Okay. So let me know when we're live.
We are live now, Madam President.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to the community members joining us via Zoom. This meeting of the North Brunswick Township Board of Education is being held virtually via Zoom in order to practice social distancing. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast via YouTube. The link for a call number into Zoom is available on our district website. Any votes required during this meeting will be done via roll call for the good of the order. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the North Brunswick Township Board of Education. May we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
United States of America
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Brockman.
Here.
Mr. Brooks. Mr. Duran Harris.
Here.
Ms. Keefe.
Here.
Mr. Liguori.
Here.
Mr. Liu.
Here.
Ms. Rubin. Here. Ms. Toth.
Here.
And Ms. Gonzalez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, the public notice of this meeting, which included the time, date, and location, was distributed by 3 p.m. on Thursday, June 11, 2020 in the following manner. Posted on the bulletin board reserved for announcements in the board office, Old Georges Road, North Brunswick, mailed to the Home News Tribune, Sentinel, and the clerk of the Township of North Brunswick, and delivered to the 9 duly elected board members. Dr. Zakowski, I see that we have some presentations today.
Yeah, we do have a presentation. Yes, it is a presentation. I just want to talk. It's our graduation report. To give some context, typically Ms. Rumbo is giving an overall view of our scores, our assessments, and we include our graduation rate as required by law. The reason why we don't have any assessment or scores is the tests were not given this particular past spring, as you know what was going on with the COVID and the pandemic. But we do have graduation rates. And if you remember, I've been changing the sign behind me. We have the new sign, North Brunswick Township Schools, our comeback is greater than our setback. Prior to that, I had the U.S. News and World Report that said North Brunswick was being honored as a top high school, nationally high school. And there was two reasons why we achieved that. Our high AP scores with our not only increased number of threes, the increased number of students taking our APs and getting 3 or better. And the second reason is I'm going to report out today is the graduation report, the graduation rate. And so without further ado, let me open it up. I want to give our presentation, and I'm going to share the screen with the community again. And so our 2020 graduation rate, I just want everyone to know it's comprised of 2 types of data. In 2011, they said we're going to do 4- and 5-year adjusted cohort graduation data. which are calculations that are used to derive these graduation rates. The 4 and 5 year graduation rates are published annually in the New Jersey School Performance Report and the ESSA accountability profiles. The 4-year cohort formula essentially divides the number of students that graduate in 4 years or less. It says of less, sorry. Those students receiving a diploma by the number of first-time ninth graders who entered the cohort exactly 4 years ago. So you enter our school 4 years ago, they measure how many students start only in 4 years they get out. There's no allowance given for those who may need and require to take 6 years. Why would you take 6 years? If maybe it's a language barrier, maybe it's something in someone's IEP, maybe it's transfer and credits don't get transferred. You have a high mobility rate. It hurts districts that have that. You have language barriers. It hurts district. So they came up with a 5-year formula where you take the formula, you take the number of students that graduate in 5 years or less. And the state's saying, well, we want to take in consideration those students that may have an extra year for those problems, issues that we talked about. Well, we feel very proud of what we've been doing there, but there's other issues such as tracking students. We have students that we can't find because when you have a high mobility rate, students come and go, and sometimes they may go to other states and there's not the follow-up or concern about North Brunswick graduation rate. So we've noticed, we looked at other school districts with high mobility rates and found that we are better than most because we really care about all our kids. And I think all schools do, but we go full time trying to find out because we know we owe it to the public that this graduation rate really is a metric that meets the needs and the criteria of a lot of awards and a lot of recognitions. So we definitely take it serious. We also did a study that is not here on this presentation, but I want to remind everyone, the graduation rate when someone starts in kindergarten and goes all the way through to 12th grade is 97%, 97.4%. So that means if you're with us and we know you stay here and you go through this long journey with this school district, it's unbelievable graduation rate. And we found out if you join us by middle school, it's still in the upper 90s. So 6 through 12, it still stays around 95%. It's really where we find that students are coming and going, and we feel bad for students that have challenges coming and going, whether they're transferring in, transferring out, moving. We find they have different challenges that makes it difficult. But needless to say, look what happened in class of 2017. 4 years, 80.9%. That was unacceptable. And it wasn't even the district's fault. We had children that were not prepared. They did not want to earn that degree in 4 years, and we weren't just going to give it away. But that's still, it may not be our fault, but it's certainly our responsibility. And Mr. Neller, I want to give him a lot of credit with support of the central office and the Board of Education. We made it a non-negotiable core goal, and we put it part of our strategic plan. And I want to give kudos to the high school because they executed the plan. We may have had the vision that this was unacceptable, but really executing it. So staff of the high school, our central office, Ms. Rumbo, your work supporting the high school, they went and jumped 9%. If you think that's if you think that's easy, you haven't dealt with 9% of 450 students. That's 43 children. And then we still weren't done. 92.3. And folks, I'm happy to report community North Brunswick up to 93.6. And we're not done. That's why that arrow's pointing up. We're going to continue to work hard, but you can see this is a longitudinal study of just 4 years of 4-year cohort, and we feel very proud. That's the second reason why the U.S. News and World Report had us as one of the best schools, high schools, for that achievement alone. And just so those who want to know, same thing's going on with our 5-year cohort, 84, 92, 92. Why is it TBD? Because those students have another year, would be their 5th year, because that comparing the, they entered 5 years ago. So we'll get that data at the end of the year. We think it's very promising. And why is that? Again, we do not, if children fail, we fail. It may not be our fault, but we put our investment in our children, and we just won't accept failure. We will do everything we can. Our staff does that. The board, you give us the resources. Our budget supports all the needs of our diverse population, and that's a non-negotiable. Look at our core beliefs online. This is for the community. I know our board knows this. Look at our core beliefs. All means all. So with that, Madam President, that concludes the presentation. And I'm happy to say that it is I want to congratulate again our high school for their wonderful work, making this presentation a lot easier than we had to do it in 2017, as you all well know. So we'll get back to any questions on that. We'll get back to that. I do want, Ms. Rumbo, I do want to ask, do I need a motion and acceptance of this report for the state? I know the state requires it by law. Do we need?
No, just 35 minutes that we did the
Okay,
presentation.
35 minutes.
Yep.
Good. Okay, that's all I wanted to make sure, folks. Thank you, Ms. Rumbo. And we're back to the presentations. I didn't see any board questions. So, Madam President, we are on number 6 from the screen.
Ms. Keefe, would you take item 6?
Yes, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to approve the following board minutes: the conference regular public Zoom meeting from August 26th, and executive session Zoom meeting from August 26, 2020.
Second.
Ms. Hawk?
Sorry, I was muted. Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
Mr. Duran Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Mr. Liguori,
Yes.
Mr. Lou,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
Ms. Toth,
Yes.
and Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
The minutes are accepted.
Thank you.
Madam President, no communications at this time? So would you want me to just we'll go right to my administrative report? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. For those who are joining us via YouTube and those who are on the Zoom meeting, welcome. Just those who do not follow the broadcast every morning, you may know this already, may not know this, but our fall athletic season has started. The NJSIAA, which is a state governing athletic body, has allowed schools to do outdoor sports. Anything in the fall that was indoor, like girls volleyball, girls gymnastics, has been moved to season 3 for the spring or the beginning of spring. It's really at the end of the winter and before the spring, they're putting the indoor sports from the fall. So they've been postponed. They haven't been canceled. So we have going on right now, girls tennis. Boy, are we proud of our girls tennis. More to come on that. Girls and boys soccer, football, and boys and girls cross country. They're all off to a great start with their practice. I do want to talk about one little glitch with football, but before we get to that, our first official allowed interscholastic competition was our girls tennis team, the team that finished undefeated last year. And we lost our salutatorian who's going to Georgia Tech, Rima Petty. Rima, we miss you. But the tennis team has taken your leadership and again started off the year and beat Woodbridge 5-0. Sorry, Woodbridge Barons. The Raiders are on the prowl, and congratulations to the Raiders. They have been working hard. I spoke to their coaches personally, and they say only thing better than his talent is the comportment of our girls, how well they act, the sportsmanship. So great job, girls. Love that report. Tomorrow, our varsity boys soccer will start against St. Thomas Aquinas. You may have known them as not Bailey Ellard. They were known as, oh my goodness, Bishop R. They were known as Bishop R. So we're playing St. Thomas in boys soccer tomorrow. The varsity girls also start tomorrow. And we know they're playing their rivals, their challenge, Sayreville, at Sayreville. And the boys soccer will be in Edison at Bishop St. Thomas Aquinas. Friday, we have our first varsity football game. That is also at Sayreville. They like to call themselves Titletown, and we know they're a big challenge every year in football. I do want to make mention that just let the public know, the JV families know that we had a scrimmage, and Watch on Hills reported. We weren't able, they don't tell us who was the person, but that last Thursday, a person came back tested 2 days later from their team as COVID positive. So we are giving a quarantine hiatus to our JV team. Our varsity team has been cleared. We're okay with the varsity because they're what they are contact of a contact. They were not directly involved with the originator. And the reason why we're doing the whole team is in football, so many people are on the field. They're not identifying who, and they just feel there was just enough, could be enough contact. So we're working with the families. We think our students, athletes are safe, but we're going to, with abundance of caution, postpone. We're not canceling, postpone the Sayreville JV game, which was scheduled for Monday, October 5th. We're going to postpone it because they already started the clock for the quarantine. And so we'll get the game in as long as we get through the quarantine correctly. Part of my report is I want to thank those who participated, our staff members. Our virtual family back to school night was yesterday for the elementary schools and the preschools, our ECC. Tomorrow night, October 1st, is also our high school back to school night. Tuesday, October 6th is the Linwood 5th and 6th grade. And then Thursday, October 8th will be our new Linwood Middle School. So I just want to say, thank you for the great job the elementary schools did and the preschools. But parents, please take advantage of it. It's a unique situation, virtual back to school night. We also want to make mention USDA grant program, as the board has championed with Chartwell's, our partner. We now have successfully received from the USDA subsidies. Now listen to this, for those who haven't heard it, subsidies for every student, not just students who qualify, every single student, all 6,500. They will be provided, whether we're in school remotely or, if we're at home remotely or in school, hybrid or all full time, from now until June 30th, a full breakfast and lunch grab and go for every student every day of the school year. Thank you, USDA. Thank you, Board of Ed, with the partnership of Adam Sawcheck and Chartwell. So terrific. Part of my report also, we've been reaching out, and our principals will continue to reach out to the public. Please continue to maintain and follow along with your child's vaccinations. When we are, every day we're remote is one day closer to coming back to school, and you cannot participate without your vaccinations. And so our nurses, our principals will work with you individually, but it's a reminder, not everyone's cooperating, and there are strict guidelines. You cannot participate in our program if you do not receive your vaccination. And we're supposed to remove you even from the remote world as well, because the state really is pushing, making sure that we get back to our vaccinations, and their schedule is something that is non-negotiable. So just a friendly reminder. We also want everyone to know, maybe many of your children are seniors like my daughter is. We have SAT reminder October 17th and November 7th for our seniors. Juniors could take it a little bit later, but our seniors who haven't taken it, common apps are getting done and essays are being done. We know some students, including my daughter, haven't taken the SATs, and she won't be able to take it here in North Brunswick, but your child can, as the seats are open for our North Brunswick students who are having trouble getting to other places. So again, October 17th and November 7th, please sign up. Only 50 slots each day available, but we will make more slots available for our North Brunswick students if need be. But we're using a school of 1,900 for 50 slots. That's the kind of detail we're going through to make sure we are separated, socially distant, and safe taking our SAT. It's enough pressure on our students and to worry about taking a test and that they're not going to be safe. They will be safe. I do want to mention lastly, the Merit Scholarship Program, Mr. Neller released to me. We had our National Merit semifinalist, Jaydeep Bopare. Congratulations, our commended students. And I'm going to give it a shot. Ashvika Bandaru, Emily Hill, Anishka Jain, Albert Lewis, Ashke Muniyapa, Rohan Ravula, Shira Singarao, Raju, Roshan Varadan, Abhishek Vimula, Shrikar Vizanatha. So I do want to congratulate all those students. They'll be posted on our website, but I personally want to congratulate them. There is, throughout the nation, the top scores are only published as commended semifinalists or finalists. So congratulations to our students. And with that, Madam President, that will conclude my report.
Great. Do our student representatives have reports for us?
Madam President, if you don't mind interject, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Because I know I have the big screen here. So the committee reports from our board, I think we'll get to the students according to the agenda right afterwards.
Yes, sorry about that.
No, not at all. I want to get to the students too, but.
Do we have any committee reports today?
Madam President, I'd like to report on the Community Relations
Please, thank
Committee
you.
meeting. Absolutely. So Dr. Z touched on a couple of these things, but back to school night we talked about is all virtual this year. We had the Acelero NBTECC Lightbridge Preschool yesterday. All of the elementary schools were also yesterday. We have Linwood coming up on Tuesday, October 6th. Our new middle school NBTMS on Thursday, October 8th. And then our high school is tomorrow night, Thursday, October 1st. We also discussed the 2020 NBTHS Hall of Fame. They're currently building up nominations, and it's really a chance for us to get the North Brunswick story out to the community of some of our previous graduates. And we will also be broadcasting and recording this. Ms. Rumbo also gave us a report on Niche. We have had triple the amount of views in some of our neighboring districts, 981 views to be particular. We're constantly building up the information on there. The virtual tour of the new middle school is also on the Niche page, and the virtual open house information will also be posted on the specific Niche pages. We briefly touched upon the breakfast, lunch grab and goes, which Dr. Z also mentioned. We're doing extremely well with it. We're very grateful for that grant that we received, that subsidy grant. All families that have kids attending our district are eligible to come to one of the pickup locations and come get meals. All information is on the food services tab on our NBT Schools website. And then virtual learning as well, all of the information on virtual learning, there is a specific page on our website which encompasses that. So definitely check out our website with all of our information as we keep that very up to date. And that concludes the community relations report. Thanks.
Thank you. Great job. Great stuff going on.
Madam President, the Personnel Committee met last Thursday, I want to say, or Tuesday. The weeks are blending for me.
Wednesday.
Oh my goodness, was it? I know, it's just all, it's all blurring in my mind. Sorry about that. So just to quickly recap, we discussed resignations and retirements. We just discussed some of the impacts that COVID has had on our personnel in total. We have discussed various personnel issues, which will become apparent later, as they can become communicated, as they do involve some more confidential issues. But we also discussed a lot of new initiatives as well that Ms. Rumbo is leading to really gather some really great feedback from some of our resignations and retirements through exit surveys, exit interviews that we're really excited about as well. And that concludes the Personnel Committee report. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam President, the Curriculum Committee met on Wednesday, September 16th. Just real quick, went over the professional learning that went on from August 31st to September 4th. We also got some reports regarding the phase 1, which we're in right now, the all virtual instruction. And the principals discussed some of the successes and challenges so far Got an update from MBTHS principal, Mr. Neller, MBTMS principal, Mr. Solover, Mr. JDS Linwood, and Mr. Dawson from Livingston Park gave us an update regarding the elementary schools. And we also got an update on the educational technology update, which is very important now in the virtual world, from Kim George. So everything's going smoothly. Obviously, the beginning, things were, people adjust into it, but things are going very smoothly now. That's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Madam President, the Negotiations Committee met on Wednesday, September 16th. We discussed the contracts with our various unions and working with our teachers union regarding creating win-win situations in the event that there needs to be any reductions or furloughs or anything of that nature. And then we discussed other confidential matters that will become public when appropriate. That concludes the negotiations report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, we had a student services meeting on, let me get to the top of this. September 23rd, Wednesday, September 23rd, most of which Dr. Zakowski covered in his report.
Sorry, Dave.
That's all right, not a big deal. One of the things he did not mention, but we're working towards, or the staff is working towards, is clubs. A lot of the kids had mentioned that they wanted the clubs coming back and see what they could do. We do know some of them are heavy in person, but we are getting with the leaders of the clubs and seeing what they could do to adjust their strategies for virtual settings and doing as much as they can, as long as they have a sound plan. Dr. Zakowski's not against letting them run the clubs, and it'll be encouraged, but they have to have a good plan and of how they're going to undertake the new challenges. And then we had Ray Keenor talking about how, some of the regulations that he has challenging him with, just getting the sports teams and that type of stuff and what he was up against. So, and then that was basically what we covered. Mary Ellen also gave us a report from the nursing side on a bunch of different things that the nurses are doing, including they've had, about 800 people visiting the website with various questions, and they fielded questions from quite a few different people. And then all the nursing staff took a John Hopkins contract tracing course, so that they're, they know what the expectations are, I guess. And that's pretty much all we discussed. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Dave, thank you. Mr. Brockman, I just want you to know, Sarah, our president of SGO, who's on, she loved hearing about the clubs because she's an alchemist. So we want to get them back together. They've done virtual plays over the summer. We want to get them back on stage, either virtually or in person. So thanks for that report.
I have to say that the day the Alchemists go back live, we know we're in recovery.
Right. And we're looking
I'm waiting for that day.
Yes, we are. We are looking for, all of us, Madam President. Mr. Ligori, I know you wanted me to talk a little bit about some of the things on business operations on the agenda, but I just thought as a business operation chair, you and I had a chance to do a tour. I have asked our architect, Mr. Capinsano, just to be on. If you want to give an update, and I could go into the biz ops agenda items that we weren't able to have the meeting today, but I have them on the agenda and explain. But if you want to start it off by talking about the tour we took on the new phase 2 project.
Yes, thanks, Dr. Z. Was happy to be walking through Linwood. I guess it was late last week, making some great progress, especially in 2 different areas, actually. In the area of the new ECC, there's drainage that's begun to go in, as those classrooms will all require toilets for the young children. So that's underway and making very good progress. Of note, in the Board of Education wing as well, the rooms have been framed, and it's kind of amazing to see how fast everything is proceeding. So I'm happy to report that the work has gone amazingly quickly so far. We do have a change order on tonight for the Linwood project, small one for about $16,000. We do have another 2 change orders on as well which Dr. Z can expand upon, I guess, when we get to the agenda. But 2 of them for the middle school as we look to close out the middle school project at this point. They are on page 19 and 20 of your agenda. And then also on tonight's agenda, there is, we had discussed last month, and I believe the month before, about some refinancing of bonds. The approval of those refinancings is on tonight's agenda as well on page 20. Will save us nearly $800,000. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Ligori. I do have on page 18, number 3, when we report, one of the things we were going to talk about at Biz Operations, we're the recipient of the Digital Divide Grant Award in the amount of $715,103 that comes to the district. We're happy that we qualify for that and we're able to receive that Digital Divide Grant. And we were also on page 18, number 5, as you mentioned, Mr. Ligori, there's on letter A, there's a $16,544. That is the last phase of our original roof project, the final phase of it, closeout of it on Linwood Roof. So that Safeway, I have Pete Capasano here if you have any questions, but that went back a couple years ago as we were preparing for our solar. They had to finish up something that
come on in.
Okay, we had to finish up a little bit of that project, and we did do that, and that's why that change order, that will close out that project. And then on page 18, letter B, number 5B, there's a $54,000 change order, and right below it, there's a $26,000 change order. That sounds like a lot of money, but these are change orders that we are now closing out the whole project. We've held back. I have Mr. Capasano on here if he had any specific comments or questions, but we did not, this was like 50% of what they wanted to charge us over the life of the project for certain things. And we didn't accept that right away. And the way it works is you don't slow up the project. Otherwise you get delay claims. You continue work through it, you negotiate, and we make sure that the change order, we get third-party opinions. Sometimes we compromise. And so we eventually, and not all these are the fault of the contractors. Like we had additional POTS lines. That's points of service lines that we had a telephone service. We had required to put old-fashioned lines in. That was a change order. Revised sprinklers in the gym for code, the way they had to revise them and move them around as when you get the final code. So, but most of these change orders are so within our minuscule allowance that we had for change orders. We're proud to present that. Mr. Capasano removing the change order, there really wasn't a change order for our electrical, wiring that we decided to do as a district to save, and then we gave it back to our electrician. Our change orders were well below the industry standard. If you want to just make a quick comment on that for our
just a quick comment. Of the 54,000 and the 26,000, there's about 27 or 28 items totaling 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, and like Dr. Z said, some date back more than a year, and we just held firm on what we believe the final and fair price would be. As we got closer to completion, they came closer to the number we wanted. We settled on that number, and we're pleased with that number. If you exclude the majority of owner requested change orders, and when I say owner requested, I'm mostly referring to the technology of nearly $900,000.
Well, Pete, let's qualify that.
Yes.
The change order of $900,000 was a savings of probably $300,000-$400,000 when we get it.
At least $400,000, correct.
People don't understand that we didn't add $900,000 when we budgeted this project. We decided as an owner, we didn't want Radio Shack leftovers. That's how the bid process, lowest bid. We took it back and we took control of the technology that we needed. And so what we did was then we awarded we got a fair price from the contractor after we showed what we wanted and we decided. And so Pete, take it from there. I wanted to give some
correct.
context.
It was more, let's say, as an allowance, and it was budgeted for. We did not put the technology in the job, as you said, during bid. because the technology would not go in until 18 months to 2 years later. And we wanted the latest technology at the time, recognizing that technology moves as fast as it does. That was a very key point. So total change orders came in at 0.67%, and it's not 6.7%, it's 0.67%, which is less than 1% of the contract price. So we were very, very pleased with that.
Thank you, Pete. Board members, if we had Pete here to ask any questions, we're going to review the agenda in a minute, but I wanted to give some context. We were going to try to get through this through business operations, and it was on the agenda. We're very proud of being less than 1% of change orders. That's unheard of. And if it wasn't for those moving those darn wood chips, it might have been less than that. And that's an inside story for all our board members. But I have great news. Mr. Ligori referenced, you can see here, letter D. We were happy to celebrate. We refinanced our bond series 2020A of the $12 million and the series 2020B. I'm sorry, $4 million of the 2020A and $12 million of the series 2020B. And net savings, over 5 years, $766,000, roughly. You could figure about $150,000 plus a year to the taxpayer because we do our due diligence. It's a great time to refinance. I recommend to anybody, if they want to refinance their $16 million, they may have lying around in debt, so for all those folks. But it really is, we want the taxpayers to know we monitor this. We're required to keep an eye on this. We did, and I'm very happy that we could report this out, and Mr. Ligori did report it out earlier. And then I do want to take us down to page 22 very quickly. Board members, we were going to talk about our transportation. I have Mr. Keener on, just in case you have any questions on the budget, on the transportation bids. They were opened on Wednesday. That's why this is last minute. We accepted packages, but we have still 9 double packages that did not get bid on. We had to go out to bid again. So these are the ones that we're accepting. Why are we accepting bid packages? Well, we are planning to come back to school in November. So we have to have this done. So we're going to the board today, asking them, we put this on. Are we happy with the transportation packages? We're not tickled pink, but I think you could imagine that the transportation companies we're hurting, and we're paying a premium, not too much of a premium, but a premium. And but we're also going out to bid for 9 more double packages, which is 18 routes that we still have to fill. You should know our biggest jumps came into the charter school packages that we have to provide. They jumped up significantly. As you know, we have to bus out to some of the charter schools in Somerset County. Mr. Keener is here. We're very happy with his connections, and he's working with trying to get people to bid on the final 18 routes. Mr. Keener, I don't know if you want to add anything, because this was going to be discussed at operations. It is on the agenda. We're asking the board, not only do we have the package for our double packages, we also have our charter school packages, which are listed. You can see how expensive they are. And then the final packages are when we go back and we provide our late bus runs, and they're not as expensive, our late bus runs for the middle school and the high school. So they're the 3 bus on the agenda bids that we want to accept tonight, and we'll keep you posted as we try to work very hard. We're going out to bid right away to try to get those other 18 that are not filled. Mr. Keener, you wanted to add to the board committee report?
Yeah, the only thing I just wanted to correct, it's actually 19 double packages, total of 38 routes that we still have to.
Did I say 9 by mistake?
Yes, sir.
I always love when you correct me publicly. Thank you, Ray.
Anytime.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So we all got to be, yes, it's 19. Thank you. So that would be 38. So
correct.
Thanks. I told you he was good. I take back all the things I didn't say about you, Ray. All right. Moving on. That would be the business operations report. It's on the agenda. Great news that we got some bus bids in, and even better news that we got the digital divide grant of $715,000 coming, and we also have the refinancing of savings of over $755,000 for the taxpayer. So we're very, very happy. And that would conclude, Mr. Liguori, I don't know if we have anything else, but that would conclude the business operations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And with that, Madam President, I don't see any more committee reports. I would turn it back over to you we could formally, with your permission, I could formally introduce our wonderful new student reps.
Please.
Thank you, Madam President. I had really an honor to talk to both Sarah and Ojul. I know I'm saying it, but Miss K, Dr. Z and Miss K, but I'm going to ask our two reps to introduce themselves very quickly about what grade they're in, what their interests in the schools are, and what their position is and why they're on the board dais with us. We'll start with Ojul, but both seniors, so I can't, age, I'm sure the same. So introduce yourself, Miss K.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ojul Kupchandani, and I'm a senior this year. And some of my future plans will be, I'm planning to major in finance next year as I head off to college. And my interest I joined exec board because I really like participating in the school and making it a better environment for the students.
Very good. Do you have any schools that you have your heart set on? Sarah, I gave hers away already.
I'm looking at currently NYU, Carnegie Mellon, and Rutgers.
Very
Rutgers
good.
Honors.
Rutgers Honors, that business school is unbelievable. You'll probably get us a better finance rate in the years to come so we can refinance those bonds. So great job. Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself? And thank you, Ojul. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah Williams. I'm a senior at North Brunswick. I'm our SGO's president, and I'm also the secretary for the Alchemist Theater Company. So hi, Miss Marks. And I'm like Dr. Zakowski said, I'm looking into applying to Duke and Dartmouth. Those are my top two right now. For neuroscience, that's what I'm hoping to major in. Wow. And I'm really excited to be here tonight and meet you all. I love SGO. I've been doing it since like my freshman year, and it's really great working with everybody in the school and really getting to organize all the events. So thank you.
I just want to share with the board, after hearing the president of this club and secretary, I think I can't wait to Sarah. I said she needs to run for president sooner than later, and the neuroscience study could really help with the people running for the president now. So thank you, Sarah. And I did show off in my office that I did have a Dartmouth and Duke banner, and I wish you well. Oh, you great schools, both of you. We're proud to have you on. So we're going to turn it over. I don't know how you guys agreed for your student committee, your student report. So the stage is yours.
So I'll be doing the report for this month. And so the SGO held our Club Fest a little differently this year. We recorded a Club Fest video with an overview of each club and posted on the class's Google Classroom with an interest form. Over 800 students filled out the form. If any student still needs to fill out the form or sign up for a club, they can find the form in their class Google Classroom. To celebrate our athletes who begin their fall season this week, SGO is celebrating Fall Pep Week. This week's themes include Sports Day, Disney Day, Pink for Breast Cancer Awareness, and Blue and Gold. On Friday, our virtual pep rally will be posted in class Google Classrooms, and our first Spirit Cup will be awarded to the winning class. Each year, the SGO picks a charity to fundraise for. Since we were unable to complete our fundraising goals last year, the SGO has decided to work with the Thirst Project again. Once we raise the proper funds to assist in building the well in Uganda, all the fundraising money will go to benefit the North Brunswick Township Food Bank. And that is all.
Excellent.
Board members, you have two wonderful students. Any questions or any comments for our student reps?
Just keep us apprised of any activities you're putting together. We'd love to join you and celebrate with you. I know you guys will be doing great things during this year.
Thank you, Madam President. Ojul, I would say, Ojul, Sarah, if you want to take this question, really talk to the board and the community. How are you doing? You and I both had the private conversations. I have a senior daughter. It's not the same. We know that. How are you doing? What do you feel? I love Ojul. Let me talk to you, Miss K. I'll call you first. Talk to us about what you said to me from the spring until now, how you felt things are going for you.
So So since I'm a senior, I'm sad that we're not in school, but it's been a big difference since where we started in the spring into the way classes in school is going on right now. I actually really like the virtual classes because it allows me to interact with my teachers, and I feel like I'm learning more when I'm in class.
Well, I love hearing that, and please tell the board I did not give you that. I did not write you for that. And Sarah, I know you said the same thing, very similar. If you want to just share how you feel things are going, and I shared with you and Ojul that we will ask you to keep in contact with us. What's missing in our environment is both of you and your classmates. We are working to get you back. Every day is going to be a step to get you back. I can't believe we got a brand new middle school and it's empty. Our beautiful high school and it's empty. We need you back. Sarah, do you want to add to that, how things are going?
I have to agree with Oljul. I think things are going like the best way that they can right now. And I'm really happy to hear that we're trying to make the best out of the situation, especially with clubs and all the activities going on. And I'm really excited to see what we can get done. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you, ladies, both of you. The board this is a very interested board. I share with you, please call. Do not wait for board meetings. If you need to get in touch with the superintendent's office, you both have my contact information, and we will certainly make sure the board is connected to the students. So thank you again. With that, Madam President, two great reports, two great student reps. Let's take it back to the agenda, and I'll take it back up to where we left off. Bear with me as I got to move this cursor a little quicker. And we were going to start our review of the agenda for, here we go. Nope. Here we go. Number 10, just for people, for context, if you're new, our new student reps, the board now has received the agenda. This is not a very, very busy month, but we're going to take some time and publicly now go page by page. It may seem a little, yes.
Sorry to interrupt. We got to go back to number 9.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Durant Harris. You can see I'm slipping. So, Madam President, we got to go back to number 9.
Yeah, I'll take that one. It's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'd like to make a motion to approve the administrative and committee reports.
Second.
Brockman,
Yes.
Mr. Durant Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Mr. Liguori,
Yes.
Mr. Lou,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin, Tracy, Ms. Rubin, Ms. Gonzalez,
Yes.
and last call for Ms. Rubin. If not, we do have
and Ms. Toth.
Ms. Toth.
and Ms. Toth.
Yes.
All right.
So I'm going to stop sharing so I can see the screen. Let me see. Tracy, are you frozen?
You can't hear me? Oh.
Now we can.
I wasn't on mute. I don't know what happened, but I said yes, but I'm glad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know. It's me. It's not you.
Okay, no problem. All the reports have been accepted.
Wow, Trace, thank you for sharing that. I just wanted to make sure your fiance, newly married, he didn't put you on mute. I want to make sure. of that. So, because we do appreciate you being here tonight. Busy. Review of agenda. As I was saying, the context of the issue is that we have to go through it page by page, but the board has insight to all of the agenda items, so it may seem a little fast, and then we'll go to the public session on these agenda items because there's a consent agenda. We want to make sure that if someone has a comment on any of the agenda items before the board votes, they have an opportunity to speak. So, Madam President, with your direction, I'll start the review of the agenda.
Please.
And you could start taking from there. Page 3.
Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8.
Madam President, I just want to stop right here for 1 second. on what page is the 7, as you can see, we're very proud. Many of our teachers, look at the amount of teachers that we're able to continue to go with their continuing education from bachelor's to master's, from master's to master's plus 30. So we're very proud of our teachers. Congratulations to them.
Absolutely. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13.
And these are all the grants that we received. Thank you, Ms. Rumbo, for running that grant, our title grants to offset the salaries of teachers. Thank you. And our preschool expansion grant.
Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19.
All the change order individual listings.
Page 20. Up to item D.
Yep, and now we go into policy, second reading. And then we have some transportation, Madam President and board members.
Page 21. Page 22.
Yeah, this will be all the bids that we just talked about that was put on today as we received we had the opening yesterday late, and we just got it on today of the acceptance of these, or for you to accept the bids.
Page 23. Page 24. Page 25.
And that should be, we'll go back to the top.
Please.
Board members, if anybody has any questions, we're gonna bring it back up here. So we reviewed the agenda. So number 11, Madam President, is we need to have a public session on agenda items only before we get to the consent agenda.
Yes, sir. As Dr. Sikowski mentioned, at this time, we will open a public session on agenda items only. We ask that anybody who is participating in today's call, interested in asking questions or speaking about the agenda, identify themselves and limit their comments or questions to 3 minutes in order to enable anybody interested in speaking with the board to have that opportunity.
And thank you, Madam President and board members. We're going to ask a little patience. Mr. Toro, our tech, he's connecting. People may be viewing on YouTube. So we're going to wait a little bit. Mr. Toro, if you see anybody, we have a link to come back to this Zoom meeting so they could actually ask the question. We'll wait a little bit. Mr. Toro, do you see any questions? Anybody from YouTube trying to get on? I see Michael there. I know he's monitoring. Okay, thank you, Mr. Toro. Madam President, seeing no public questions about agenda items only, we need to do number 12. And I'm going to put the agenda, hold on, share screen. We need to go back to number 12. Any board member would like to, we need a motion to close.
Move to close the public portion, please.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Brockman.
Uh-oh,
Mr.
he was
Brockman.
with us.
He was here.
I saw him. Let me,
He muted. Oh, he's muted. Oh, he was.
Dave,
Mr. Brockman.
you're muted.
Okay, we'll go to Mr. Duran Harris first, and then we'll circle back.
Yeah, Dave, if you could type in the chat, yes or no, and we'll let your vote be recorded. Mr. Duran Harris, yep.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
There we go.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Mr. Legori,
Yes.
Lou,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
Ms. Toth,
Yes.
and Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
The meeting is, or the portion is closed.
Okay, we have a consent agenda now, number 13. Do we have anybody who would like to?
I'll take
I'll
it.
read it.
Motion to approve the following consent agenda items: personnel, curriculum, miscellaneous, finance items 1 through 5, policy, and transportation.
Second.
Second. Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
Mr. Duran Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Mr. Legori,
Yes, but I abstain on page 15, item H, as it pertains to myself.
okay, Mr. Lou,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
Ms. Toth,
Yes.
and Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
All the items have been approved.
Madam President, we are now, I know this seems silly to some folks who are not used to this. We have a public session now, any matter that anyone wants to bring before the Board of Education. I think it makes a little sense now because we do a consent agenda, but a public session on any matter.
And as before, we ask that anyone who wants to address the board, please identify themselves and then limit their comments or questions to 3 minutes.
We do have someone raising a hand. Ms. Pasner, unmute yourself. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Good evening, Dr. Zakowski. Good evening to the Board of Education. School's now been underway for about 3 weeks now. Our staff at MBT School has been working extremely hard to provide the best education possible for our students. And I'm just here to say once again, thank you on behalf of the association for the continued collaboration between the NBTEA, between Dr. Zakowski, between the Board of Education. And I just wanted to express that tonight. So we're working hard, things are going well. That's it. So
You and your organization, every member of the organization has been so committed to the success of getting our students back to learning, to collaborating. I couldn't be more proud of how you all have led the district in getting us through this pandemic and keeping our students excited about learning and excited about being a part of North Brunswick Township. So thank you very much.
thank you.
Mr. Toro, do you see anything from YouTube, our connection to YouTube? Any questions? Okay, just wanted to make sure because we want to give everyone an opportunity. Madam President, we don't see any further comments or questions, so we do need a motion to close this public portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
Mr. Duran Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Mr. Legori,
Yes.
Mr. Lou,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
Ms. Toth,
Yes.
and Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Thank you. Madam President, there's some good news. We don't have a reason unless I put down in the closed session, typical for some negotiation matters, things have been going well. You heard Ms. Patterson, we've been working things out. There's no private negotiation discussions we need right now, so we don't need to go into closed session. And the board has received, the public should know, an updated monthly HIB report. There was one matter that we need to vote on. We can go in closed session if anybody needs further explanation. If not, I would wait, but then I would ask for a motion. Does anybody the board member need us to go into closed session, discuss that? There was one matter that was found not to be a HIB violation. Does anybody want to go into further discuss this in closed session?
No.
Seeing none, Madam President, I would need one of our board members to make a motion to accept the board's monthly HIB report for September.
I'd like to make a,
Hold on, Jonathan, you're muted. I see. Mr. Bush, you're muted. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Which is what you would have done if you had gone into closed and then obviously had a discussion and come back. So this is what we normally do on the other end of closed session. But obviously, if you're comfortable, there's nothing stopping you from voting on it now.
So thank you, Mr. Bush. I did hear somebody. Can someone please make that motion again? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I would like to make a motion to approve the harassment, intimidation, and bullying report dated September 30th, 2020.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was second?
They're
Ms.
quick.
Toth?
Okay, Ms. Toth, I've got your name down. All right, Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
Mr. Duran Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Mr. Liguori,
Yes.
Mr. Liu,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
Ms. Toth,
Yes.
and Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
The report's accepted.
Thank you. That's terrific. Folks, our two student reps, I asked them if when we moved along in the meeting, if they needed to drop, they both dropped. So I want to thank them publicly again. You can see we're in great hands, two great students. We really want to thank our advisors for student government. Year in and year out, we get great leaders and we're proud of them. And enthusiasm, not just that they're smart and they're active, the enthusiasm, the passion for being connected to North Brunswick Township High School. I just want to share with everyone before we go and ask for adjournment that in the morning broadcast this Saturday morning, we're going to bring in an alum, Haley, the alum, Christine Reichert. She says she remembers you. She's class of 2013. She's teaching first grade, another proud graduate of North Brunswick Township High School. She recently wrote a book and was interviewed on News 12 about Peter and the pandemic. She wrote a book about the pandemic and was published, and News 12 reported it. So we're going to have her on the broadcast. We're just so proud of so many of our graduates in every field and representing us so well. Like 1, 2, 3 board members I see from the class of 2010 and 12, right? Howard, did I get it right?
2009, yeah.
9 and 10 and 12.
2010.
And Ms. Liguori, I know you're a graduate. I'm not going to give away the graduating year. I'm sorry. And we got Miss Rumbo, another graduate. I don't want to give away the year. And the mayor of Metuchen, who I happen to have a busy meeting today. It was a pleasure walking on with the mayor, everyone stopping. I don't know if they're voting for him or giving. It was amazing.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not up this year, so it didn't make a difference.
Okay, but that's why they were stopping you. And I know they really appreciate all your work, Jonathan, as we do. They were actually waving with 5 fingers, unlike when I was driving down the street. So great job, everyone. I want to thank everyone for their participation. And I do want to thank Pete, Mr. Capisano, always willing to come on. Ray, thank you. Ray's also a South Brunswick board member. He's working here all day, and thanks for coming on. Just in case anybody in the public or you board members need any further clarification. And our silent partners here, but they do so much. Mary Ellen Engel, she's here, our supervising of nursing. When we had a problem with the charter school with their exposure to COVID, they were calling Mary Ellen from another county. So, and Mary Ellen cared about children. She said, I will help. And thank you, Mary Ellen, for all the work you're doing. And Paul Carroll, you probably didn't know about this. You probably wouldn't have accepted the job a couple of years ago if you knew between all the expansion and the solar and the COVID. So thank you, Paul. Thank your people keeping us clean, keeping us safe, keeping us healthy, our buildings ready to go. Because we are committed. We are committed to safety and security, but getting our children back. I know Metuchen and Edison are coming back within the next couple of weeks. Other schools like South Brunswick and North Brunswick in November. So we are committed to coming back, but we're going to do it safe, securely. I want to thank all those who are supporting us. I want to thank you for supporting us. And I really want to, it's just refreshing talking to the children, the end user, the children. And we got to get back for them, but they are doing a great job being resilient. With that, Madam President, I want to say thank you, and we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
Mr. Duran Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Mr. Legore,
Yes.
Mr. Lou,
Yes.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
Ms. Toth,
Yes.
and Ms. Gonzalez. The meeting is adjourned.
Wait, I just got to stop. One more thing. I forgot to say thank you, Mr. Toro. He's the guy behind the curtain. Thank you for the Wizard of Oz. He is the man behind the curtain. He is the wizard. Michael, thank you so much for connecting us and keeping us running. Wonderful job. You and all the techs, Mr. Snyder and our department, Jen Ashentino. Thank you. So everyone have a great day. Great night.
Yes.
Be safe.
Bye.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Nice.